What if I told you the reason you didn't break this week was not your strength, not your mindset, but something invisible holding you together every single second? And what if the truth is, you were never as alone as it felt? Because something unseen has been carrying you through more than you realize. There are moments in life when nothing big is happening, but still, everything feels heavy. You wake up in the morning, and before your feet even touch the floor, your mind already feels tired. Not because something happened, but because something inside feels off. And you start your day with a silent question. Why does everything feel harder than usual? But here's the strange part. Sometimes life doesn't fall apart loudly. It just becomes quietly overwhelming. And in that silence, the mind starts building a story. A story that says, you are on your own. But what if that story is incomplete? What if there is something happening in your life that your eyes cannot detect, but your life depends on it? Stay with me, because this is where everything starts to shift. And by the end of this video, you'll not only see your situation differently, you'll feel differently too. Imagine an astronaut floating outside a space station. No ground. No gravity in the usual sense. No familiar direction. Just endless silence around them. From the outside, it looks terrifying. But here's the truth. They are not drifting alone. A thin lifeline connects them back to safety. It's not loud. It's not visible from far away. But it changes everything. Without it, even a single moment becomes dangerous. With it, even chaos becomes survivable. Now pause here. Because this is where the reflection begins. Life feels exactly like that sometimes. There are moments where you feel emotionally disconnected. Not fully lost, but not fully grounded either. You are moving through life, but something inside feels slightly distant. And in those moments, the mind whispers something dangerous. You are alone in this. But what if that feeling is not reality, just perception? What if something unseen has been holding you steady this entire time, even when you didn't notice it? And this is where the deeper truth begins to unfold. There are seasons when everything goes quiet. You try your best. You pray. You think. You wait. But nothing changes in the way you expected. And slowly, silence starts to feel personal. It starts to feel like distance. But here's where most people misread life completely. They assume silence means nothing is happening. But what if silence is actually the space where the deepest work is taking place? Think about it. Some of the most important battles in life are invisible. No audience. No applause. No instant results. Just internal struggle. And in that space, something subtle happens. You start believing that stillness means abandonment. But here's the twist. Stillness is not always absence. Sometimes it is preparation. Sometimes it is protection. Sometimes it is something forming beneath what you can currently understand. And now the question becomes uncomfortable. What if your quiet season is actually doing more for you than your loud victories ever did? Because not everything meaningful happens where you can see it. If you study real human lives closely, a strange pattern appears. People rarely understand their hardest season while they are inside it. But later, when they look back, everything suddenly makes sense. Take Jacob's story. He was running, exhausted, disconnected from safety, sleeping in a place that looked completely ordinary. From his perspective, life had stopped making sense. No direction forward. No comfort behind. But that night, something happened that changed his entire understanding of reality. Because what looked empty was actually full of unseen meaning. And here's the question. How many times have you been in a Jacob moment and didn't realize it yet? Now look at Hannah. Years of emotional weight. Silent tears. Repeated disappointment. A life that looked delayed from every angle. People around her misunderstood her struggle. But something deeper was forming quietly in her story. Not instantly visible, but steadily building. And then Daniel. He waited. And waited. And waited. 21 days of silence. And during that time, nothing looked different on the surface. But beneath that stillness, something was already in motion. And here is the pattern that changes everything. What feels like delay in the moment often becomes clarity in hindsight. But there's still a deeper layer to this. There is something strange about human resilience. It shows up most clearly when you think it should disappear. There are days when you feel like you cannot continue, but you still do. Not dramatically, not perfectly. Just quietly, you keep moving. And that raises a powerful question. Where does that strength come from when you feel empty? Because there are moments when your mind says stop. But your life continues anyway. There are moments when everything feels heavy. But you still show up again. And that quiet continuation is not random. It's meaningful. Because sometimes survival itself is a sign that something deeper is sustaining you. Even when your awareness is low, your stability is not completely gone. And that brings us closer to the core realization. Here is the truth everything has been pointing toward. You are not as alone as your emotions sometimes convince you. You are not forgotten in your waiting. And you are not failing just because things feel slow. Because not everything happening in your life is visible at the same speed it is unfolding. Some things are holding you together quietly, consistently, without interruption. And once that realization enters your thinking, fear doesn't vanish instantly. But it loses authority. Because now you stop interpreting life only by what you feel in the moment. And start recognizing what has been steady underneath all along. And that changes your entire internal world. Now let's bring this into something real, something grounding. #5. Conclusion. A moment to reset the mind. Take a slow breath. No pressure. No expectations. No urgency to fix everything. Just this moment. Because right now, there are thoughts you've been carrying longer than you should have. Questions you couldn't answer. Pressure you didn't express. Emotions you kept inside. And for a few seconds, imagine placing all of it down. Not because everything is solved, but because you don't have to carry everything at once. Let your mind slow down. Let your thoughts settle. And remind yourself of something simple but powerful. You are still here. You are still moving. You are still standing. And sometimes, that alone is proof of unseen strength. Now listen to this prayer moment as a reset for your heart. In this moment, may every heavy thought find calm. May every anxious feeling soften. May every overwhelmed heart find quiet again. For the one who feels alone, bring peace. For the one who feels stuck, bring clarity. For the one who feels tired inside, bring renewal. Let strength return in small, steady waves. Let hope rise gently again. Let peace settle deeper than emotion. And let this moment remind every listener that even when life feels uncertain, they are not walking through it empty. Take a breath and let that settle. If this message gave you even a small sense of relief or clarity, don't ignore it. Subscribe, because the next video might be exactly what you need at the right time. And if this touched you deeply, share it with someone who feels like they are carrying too much alone. Because sometimes, one reminder can change the direction of a whole day, or even a life.